9. So we have some white nationalists here, some groups, that are flying under the radar, going to these independent gyms, and they're creating what they call an active club, and they're preparing for, wait for it, a race war in Ontario. Take a look.
White nationalist groups in Canada are coming out of the shadows. And they're building their combat skills. These new groups are part of a global movement, calling themselves active clubs. In Canada, they have links to terrorist groups and extremist militia-like organizations. They blur their faces and hide their surroundings. We dug through their social media channels and investigated hundreds of videos and images posted by these groups. They recruit white people to tribe and train, and they're on the rise around the world. Atomwaffen Division. It was a neo-Nazi group linked to multiple murders in the US. It was listed as a terrorist entity in Canada in 2021. That's when many former members joined active clubs.
It is probably one of the fastest growing far-right extremist threats in Canada. These are people that in many cases are training for what they believe is to be an upcoming race war. The potential for violence and the potential for something catastrophic to happen is extremely high.
One of the main groups behind this masked demonstration in Toronto is Nationalist 13, or NS13, based out of Hamilton, Ontario. On Hitler's birthday, the group called him one of the greatest men to ever live, saying, "One day we will see his vision come true." They've been sparring in broad daylight, like in this video from Gage Park in Hamilton. A group that's on the radar of Canadian law enforcement, which considers them an extremist militia-like organization. Second Sons also posted a photo that they say is from Hamilton. But that's not accurate. This photo is actually from Niagara, from this Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym, Niagara BJJ Well.
I believe the group that was mentioned in this clip, Nationalist 13, are the ones that we've been seeing around, the city and other parts of Canada with those mass deportation signs and, DEI signs and all of that they've been doing, marching around with masks on their face, more recently outside the CNE grounds in Toronto, chanting and championing for Shiloh Hendricks. Remember her? The one who was calling the young autistic boy in the park the N-word. Remember her? That got the GoFundMe that raised, I don't know, is she at $1 million yet? I think so. I stopped paying attention to that altogether. But that woman. And so this group was outside chanting Shiloh Hendricks did nothing wrong. I believe that's Nationalist 13. And, they're out here punching each other out, preparing for a race war and, with the goal to confront black and brown people violently when we are just minding our black business and just carrying on with life and fighting for justice. And they are in the woods somewhere or in some gym, as I said, punching each other out and training for combat for a fake news race war, when really it's just delusion, because really and truly, let's talk about what this is. Let's just talk about what this is, family. This is fear of irrelevance. This is fear of finally being held accountable for all of the years of atrocities against black people and brown people. By the way, you need to lump yourself in there as well, contrary to what you think, that you're white adjacent and that you also treat black people like garbage. You're on that list too, okay? Just, a side note. So back to this group. Yeah, so they're around Ontario in private gyms mostly, and in, chain gyms, but they're just operating as though they're just there boxing or going to boxing class when they're really preparing for some delusional race war. And again, I say, it's about fear. It's about fear of not being the majority anymore. Add to the list that I already said. And, just their overall fear that they call the Great Replacement Theory. And this is why they're, running around saying that we should all be deported and all of that good stuff. And so, as you heard in the clip, the man was saying that we should probably take this seriously. I guess he's insinuating that, this could be a violent thing, and this group is gearing up for it. While you're doing all of that, we're just going to continue to live our Black lives. But one thing you have to really understand, though, is that the days of us just being attacked by people of other races or people in general are over, okay? There's no way that this group of people can go around just attacking Black people and nothing's going to happen. Have you seen the Alabama brawl? Have you seen what recently happened in Cincinnati? Although that didn't happen in Canada, I'm just saying, just like Black people in the United States, Black people in Canada are fed up too. So we're not going to sit by and allow this group to think that they can come and attack us. It's just not going to go down well, okay? It's not. So your delusion